she had to try.
There we go. At least this way, we'll have this so it'll be on my website. Never know how many people are going to show up or if anyone's going to show up, but we'll find out soon enough, I guess. We still have another 10 minutes or so before it officially starts. I think I lost you.
All right.
There you go. Oh, you're back on. Okay.
She tried me. She tried to take me on an emergency trip to the hospital, so she was not very happy.
Not getting a good feedback from you.
No, it's terrible. I was puking blood, and it was very bad. I lost almost 2 liters in a couple of hours. So it was very bad.
Wow. I'm not sure if that's always bad, but nevertheless, sometimes losing a bunch of weight is not a bad thing. In my case, I'm trying to put on weight. I've lost so much weight that I'm skinnier now than I can ever remember, which I'm not thrilled about it. It would actually be better if I gained about another 10 or 15 pounds, but I keep trying. I keep eating and seeing if I can get it back. We'll see what happens. What exactly were you in the hospital for?
I had an ulcer rupture on the esophagus.
Right. So it's all fixed up now. Lost you. Yeah, your internet connection is not the best right now. I'm not sure how good mine is, but yours seems to not be good either.
Can I do it through the phone?
Huh?
My phone, my computer.
I'm not sure. I'm not seeing any movement on your end. There you go. I can see you now. You gonna try it with your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this way at least I get the sound from one and the visual from the other side. Ah, much better. Oh, much better. Even though it's small, but yeah, much better.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I don't know. Sometimes the processors of the phones are way better.
I know. For whatever reason, I don't understand anything about all of that stuff, but you're right. Sometimes the phones just do a much better job. They seem to hold the image better, and the sound is much better.
Exactly. It's usually we have newer phones than we have newer computers.
Yeah, well, and I think you're right. We seem to all change our phones about every 2 to 3 years. Our computers about every 5, 6, 7 years, and so yeah, they tend to not do very well at a certain point. And of course, the computer companies and the phone companies are forever updating everything and coming out with new things so that you're forced into buying all the newer stuff.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah, I'm at a point where I'm not sure how many computers I need anymore. I'd rather not have to buy anymore, but who knows?
Actually, the main reason we update computers is because of the designers. So it's like every 3 years or every 4 years, my designer is like, oh, my computer is starting to get slow. I can no longer work fast. So I had to change the computer for them.
It's funny. I have my first laptop, which was a Texas Instrument laptop, and it had, it was so lacking on size in terms of its capacity, that if I turned on, I couldn't even open up Microsoft Word on it. The program was too big. And the only program that we could get on it was a golf program. So whenever we went flying, we take that with us so we could play golf on it. But other than that, and it probably weighed, I think I kept it. It probably weighed, I don't know, 10 pounds. I mean, it was crazy, but it had no capacity. Once you loaded in the programs, you couldn't open any of them. So it was kind of an interesting thing back then. And they cost a ton. I think we paid about $4,000 for the computer, which did nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. But I saved it. I think I got to check because I have a bunch of my old stuff. But that one is so old. I think that one is probably from I want to say maybe 1990, 1989. And I don't know if it's worth anything or not, but it's almost like a museum piece.
Yeah, I'm having I'm trying to get all my old computers, which I have, all my laptops I've kept, and also my video games. I have all my video games since the start. I'm going to connect all to my TV, and my kids are thrilled with that.
I had my daughter's old Mac, the little screen on it, the little Apple, and it was just a black and white computer. And my wife made me get rid of it. I didn't, which was stupid because I think they're actually worth a decent amount of money now. Not that you could do much with them, but you know, it was just one of those things. You know, there are people who collect all this stuff, but I just remember in some of the old days when I got my first fax machine. There was myself, there was Richard LeBeau from Union Inc. and one other person. And so the three of us would fax each other because nobody else had fax machines. We didn't know what else to do with it. You know, sometimes when you jump into something, you jump in a little too early and not everybody has the ability to do anything with it. It was just great. So, you know, kind of like write each other, say, hey, how's the weather? I mean, I was in New York, he was in New Jersey. The weather wasn't much different, but yeah, it's something to talk about.
Vaccines in our industry were a game changer. You were able to send that on time, which is a fantastic, a real.
Okay. Lost the whole thing. It just kicked back on. Are you there still?
Looks like I don't know if your internet connection or mine is not very good.
I have my issues with mine also. We have a new internet that's coming in to my neighborhood where we all had to sign up for it, but it hasn't arrived yet. It's supposed to be faster and more stable. Who knows? It seems to me that no matter what you do, you're always at the mercy of the companies. There's always something better coming out.
I'm fighting with my internet because I bought 100 megabytes, 100 bytes or gigabytes from that, and they only deliver 30, and they say if you buy 500, then you'll get a better signal. I said, if I buy 100 and you cannot even deliver 100, why should I buy 500 from you guys? I don't understand that.
I'm with you on all of that. Hey, do you ever get to see Alfonso from Casadias at all?
I saw him last time on Fresco, Mexico, long time ago.
Okay. Yeah, I've tried to get in touch with him. No response. I was just wondering how he was doing. I guess he is now the CEO.
Yes.
And yeah, I just haven't heard from him in a long time. I haven't seen him in many, many years. I was just wondering if he was still very active or not.
Yeah, he's super busy. Actually, I saw him in FESPA, but you know, the problem when you talk to exhibitors is that they're there to make money. So
Oh, absolutely.
we started chatting, and a customer came, and he was kind of, he didn't know how to do it. So I told him, don't worry about it. Take care of your customer. That's what you're here for.
I know.
And we can all get some dinner, give me a call. And this was, we'll call each other. And this is in August. We have not called each other since.
Yeah. Oh, I understand fully. Believe me. Shows. I mean, I'm leaving for the Long Beach show tomorrow, and interested to see how busy that one's going to be. Last year it was the busiest show ever. I don't know what this year is going to be like, but I know 2 weeks ago I asked for the numbers for my 2 workshops and for my seminar. And so my basic had 34, my special effects had 60, but my 4-color process, simulated process seminar at that time had 123 signed up. And I understand they've closed it because they don't have any more room in the room for more people. So I don't know how many that is, but curious to find out. I'll find out tomorrow what the actual numbers are. But amazing to me. These are numbers that we haven't seen in many years, and now they're all coming back up to big numbers, where in the past, if I had 50 or 60 in a workshop, that was really good. Now it's 60 before 2 weeks before the show even started. So curious to see how that goes. How busy was FESPA Mexico this year?
It was crazy busy. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And I'm going to FESPA Dubai at the end of January. That's why I'm not going to Long Beach.
I don't blame you. I'm curious about how things are in Dubai. When you go there, I would really love to hear what it's like, because I was in Dubai probably 10 years ago, coming back from Pakistan. I had to spend 12 hours at the airport in Dubai. And Neil Felton, the CEO from FESPA, it was during Christmas, and he happened to be in Dubai because his brother lives there and works there. So I took a taxi from the airport to his brother's place, had lunch and dinner, went to see the tallest building and the mall there. You've never been to Dubai, huh?
No, yes, I have.
Oh, you have?
I love
okay.
it. Yes.
I mean,
I really like it.
The mall has to be the most amazing mall in the world. It's just crazy how big it is, and but also how expensive it is there.
It's the contracts are incredible, because I mean, you can buy really cheap stuff, and then on the next store, it's just insane. I mean, they have a store that's literally pure gold. Everything that they sell there is made out of gold. So you can buy anything you want. The doors for your car made out of gold. It's insane.
So you're bringing back a gold car? Is that the deal?
That's the idea. I'm thinking about it.
You could bring back a gold screen with gold mesh in it, so that you can hang it on your wall, or a gold squeegee.
Exactly.
You always had the golden squeegee awards. You can actually bring back a golden squeegee.
I'll buy a gold frame and so that I can put some screen on it, so that my people in the shop will just they hit it on the floor all day long. It's like crazy. Like, why do you have to hit it on the floor?
How's the weather down where you are? We were cold for 4 days here. I mean, last night it got down to -9 Fahrenheit. Today is the first day it's going to actually warm up. It's going to be in the 30s today. So first time really since for 4 days. In the 4 days, the highest it ever got was like 10 degrees, period. And it got down to -11.
No, actually, we had quite a cold winter, But I mean, the coldest we get is that's it. That's during the night. During the day, I think the lowest will come 7, 8 centigrade, which is it's
Still
not that
not
bad.
bad. No, not
Nah,
bad.
not bad at all. For us, it's very cold. If we compete.
Well, I understand. Listen, my daughter lives in Texas and it was down in the 30 degrees range and they were freezing down there. We're happy to get up to 30 degrees. So it's all relative, you know.
Houses are not prepared for cold weather here.
Sorry.
Sometimes the houses are not prepared for the cold weather down here. Sometimes inside the house than outside, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, even in my house, because what they've done here, the cost of the utilities now, especially gas, has gone crazy. My gas bill last year at this time for the month was, or for last month was like 700 and some odd dollars. This year, my wife was really careful about it, and it came in at about almost $400, about $300 less than last year. They've just gone crazy because prior to that, we'd get bills of $250 or whatever, and last year just went crazy. So now my house is kept colder, so I have a sweatshirt on because the cost of gas is just insane.
Have you thought of doing electricity through solar panels at the top of your house?
The only thing we've done is we've set our thermostat down for at night. And the only good thing that we've done, we had a problem in my bathroom where there was a slow leak that probably lasted for about 10 years to the point where the bathroom almost fell apart. And so we had to file for an insurance claim and we had to redo the master bathroom totally, which I don't even want to discuss. But the smart thing we did was we put in a heated floor. So we could set it up so that in the morning when we go in there, the floor is warm. And in the evening when we go in, it's warm, which feels great. But
fantastic. That's great.
Oh, it's wonderful, believe it or not. That was really worth the money. That I have to admit.
I have a very good friend that changed all the ceiling of his house. He did all solar panels.
Yeah.
It costed him around $3,000 to do everything. But everything now is done by electricity. The water heater, house heater, the stove, everything is done.
Yeah. I mean, no one in my neighborhood has solar panels. They do have deals for us if we want them, but I'd have to go through the board to find out if it's the neighborhood I live in only has 24 houses. And so anything you want to do to your house has to be approved. The biggest problem that we have during certain months, we have hail. So the roof that I have is a top of the line roof. It's a metal shingle that's coated. And so hail doesn't bother it. It's a lifetime warranty. If I put solar panels up there, they could easily get damaged. I mean, we've had it where our whole house got damaged by hail many years back, where my house is a stucco house. They had to re-stucco the entire house and redo the entire roof.
Wow.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah. I remember
hail about that size.
That's what's so the mall. We went to the Sherry Creek Mall.
Yes.
And they told us that it was completely destroyed by hail at 1 year.
Yeah.
And it was insane.
You know, it's funny, when my house got destroyed, I was at another mall probably 3 miles away. The hail that we had there was this size. Could barely see it.
Jesus.
But yeah, I mean, it did a job on my house. I think at that time to redo everything was about $85,000. That's crazy. But so now that we're on and we don't have anyone, we can talk about whatever we want. So talk to me about your business. How is your business holding up right now?
We're barely holding up. It's quite difficult. Actually, I don't know if I told you this, but I've been talking to Artem,
Yes.
and I want to partner with him and try to think in the US for companies in the US because he has incredible designs.
He
He is
does, and he
doing
has great accounts in Europe and stuff, but from Russia now, you can't do hardly anything. And
exactly.
I don't know if I assume he's still living in Russia. I've tried to get in touch with
Yes.
him a number of times, and he's never responded, although he has responded to posts, but he's never responded directly back to me. If you can get him on, so would you then do graphic printing as well as textile printing?
That's the idea, because he told me that he changed and now he's doing mainly graphic printing.
Yeah, well, textile. I was at his place. I did consulting work for him probably 8, 9 years ago, something like that. I can't remember the exact dates, and only about 20% of his business was textiles. Although he's a fantastic textile printer, but that wasn't his big thing. His big thing was definitely luxury items, cigarette companies,
Yes.
and he did amazing work. You know, he's the only guy I know that won Best of Show on textiles at SGIA, and then the following year won Best of Show on graphics at SGIA. I don't know another
Wow.
company. Oh yeah, he won them back to 1 year for one, the next year for the other. And so, you know, I don't know anybody else who's even attempted that, but he did, and he did win them both. Um, he's a very creative guy. Not necessarily that he gets on the press and does it, but he's got a great team that he worked with. And because of having an image setter, he was able to do 150 line halftone work where unless you have an image setter, you can't go that way. You know, you're not going to be able to get much above about an 85 line halftone if you're on a direct to screen system. Not that there's anything wrong with 85, but when you compare that to 150, big difference. And certainly for the graphic side, 150 becomes far more important, not on the textile side.
Yeah.
You know, to me, an 85 line halftone for textiles, great. 85 line for the luxury items, great, good, but they'd like it to be finer. And I think he may still have his image setter. The funny thing is you can probably buy an image setter now used for very little money just because most people don't want them. You know, it's kind of like the old scanners. $250,000 scanner. I remember going to Mark Coudre's place many, many years ago. And in his parking lot was his scanner. It wasn't worth the dime, but he paid $250,000 for it. You couldn't give it away. Well, with image setters, it's not quite that bad, but it isn't that good because you have to have a air-conditioned room for it. It takes up a good amount of space. You have to have automatic processors. Not that that's a big deal. I mean, back when I had my shop in the 70s, I had a huge graphics camera and automatic processors and all of that. So, you know, probably in today's world, from maybe 10 grand, you can pick up an image setter that used to be, you know, $70,000, $80,000, mostly from offset shops, because that's what they used back for a long, long time. In any event, if you can get Artem to work with you, I think you would probably find yourself in an interesting position doing textiles on one side and doing the graphics on the other side.
Yeah, he's really looking into luxury products, especially for spirits, for drinks, for because he makes these incredible boxes for the bottles.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Well, from Mexico, I mean, the thing that you would be able to go after are a lot of the alcohol companies that do tequila, that do any of the other things. Then you also have a lot of the wineries in northern Mexico, that boutique wineries that just have amazing wines that sell for a lot of money. I remember getting a bottle down in Mexico that cost me $100, which there is $100, it must be nice. It's $100 in Mexico, man. That's a huge amount of money for a bottle of wine. And so those are the type of companies.
And now you get $400 and $500 bottles of wine here in Mexico.
Oh, I don't doubt it. And all from those vineyards up in the Baja area.
It's because sometimes the winery is so small, they only have a very small production, but
Correct.
they do fantastic job. A fantastic job.
Yeah, I don't think there are any really big wineries up there. I think they're all boutique wineries.
Most of them, yes. As
So,
in Querétaro. Querétaro is huge.
Those are certainly companies that are worth going after. And of course, if Artem still has his connections with the European companies, not that big a deal to ship from Mexico to Europe.
There's not that much problem, but he's having a lot of problems producing in Russia, and not only they cannot produce, but people in Europe will not take products from Russia.
From Russia, I know. In the U.S., same thing. They won't touch it. One of their biggest, when I spoke to Samir last, which is quite a while ago, Turkey was selling a lot into Russia and not anymore, and vice versa. Samir was doing a lot of work for Russia, not getting that business anymore. Russia is pretty much cut off from a good portion of the world, even with countries that they quote unquote still have alliances with, like Turkey, but they're just not getting the business going in or coming out. So, and I don't know how difficult it is for Artem to take the equipment that he still has and get it moved out of Russia.
Yeah, apparently he has some debts, and he lost most of his equipment also. So he's in a bad position. That's what I told him. I said, forget about it. Come live in Mexico. I mean, you can no longer even live in Russia. We can find you a good house and a good living here in Mexico, and you can be here, which is it's tough because I mean you know that his English is not perfect, so his Spanish is zero. So it's like, I don't talk very good English, I don't talk no Spanish. Am I coming to Mexico? What am I gonna do? It's not easy for him.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, the reality is, would he learn some Spanish? Of course he would. Can he use his English, even though it's a bit on the halting side? Other than the working class, everybody speaks English, some English in Mexico. And so as long as you can speak English, you can certainly get around.
I think that as well. I think especially in the border, which everyone talks English in the border.
They do. Look, I speak no Spanish, and I've never had a problem in Mexico. And I've been going to Mexico for 30 years, maybe more.
Well, you can say cerveza, so it's good enough. You won't die.
I mean, fortunately, the companies and the people that I know, either they do speak English or they have somebody who can interpret very easily, which is always a nice thing. But I can't believe that Artem would really run into too much of a problem. He would be able to order the important things. Cerveza, no problem. Although he's not a beer drinker. He drinks his, I forget what when I went to Russia, I was there for a week working with him. I never ate Russian food. He's from Georgia, and so we ate at a Georgian restaurant every day. And so, and I forget what the name of the alcohol was. It was similar to vodka, It was one of those where really I need to drink this for lunch. If I'm going to drink this for lunch, I'm going to have trouble working afterwards. But it was strong stuff. I you know, I don't believe he would really run into a problem. I think the biggest thing is getting his equipment out, and I don't think he wants to leave it behind. You know, having been in his place, I mean, the equipment that he's kept is big dollar equipment.
Yeah.
His press is, I think, a 6-color UV press. And I think he had another one, a flatbed, that was like a 5-color UV. You know, those are like $1 million machines. So,
Exactly.
you know, leaving those behind is very difficult. I don't know what his financial package was. I know at one time he was doing very well. Obviously, this whole Russian Ukraine situation has created huge obstacles for everybody in Russia. And, you know, he had a business that was just booming for a long time, and all of a sudden gone.
Yeah, it's insane what can happen. But I was talking to him, and I'm thinking that he could get things out through Turkey, which can,
Yeah, that's
and
how he
then
would have to do it.
yeah, and through our FESPA connections in Turkey, we can ship anything from Turkey to Mexico, no problems.
Oh, absolutely. That wouldn't be an issue for you at all. Double shipping, but nevertheless, for the equipment that he has, the cost of leaving it behind is crazy, and the cost of moving it is not.
No,
So, yeah, and getting it
it's
into
way
Turkey,
cheaper.
yeah, getting it into Turkey wouldn't be an issue at all. That's one of the countries that still has relationships with Russia.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, there's not a lot of them. I mean,
no.
Turkey.
Any idea when he would? Any idea when he would possibly give you an answer as to whether or not he would be able to?
We're just looking into the possibilities of actually printing in Mexico, especially graphics, because the problem with graphics in Mexico, as different from other countries, is that especially for alcohol, which is what we were thinking of starting with. I've been looking at the market, and there's not a lot of boxes of alcohol, of individual boxes of bottles that we do here in Mexico. We usually only do the bottle. So I was talking to tequila manufacturers for them to do these high end bottles, just like we do with whiskey or with other beverages, that you do a fantastic box, a luxury box, so you know that you're buying a luxury product, and the cost is insignificant for the cost of the bottle. So we were talking about that to see if that can happen, because he definitely wants to start with graphics more than textiles.
Oh, absolutely. You know, textiles in Mexico, it's big, but your competition is huge. And most people are more interested in price than they are in quality.
Yes.
It has to still be decent, but it doesn't have to be fantastic.
It's insane. I mean, right now, I don't see any companies that wants to emphasize in quality. I mean, any. Disney no longer care. Nike doesn't care. I mean, they want price. It's crazy. I've been talking to Nike, tell them, hey, you sell a shirt for $120. Why do you care if a printing is 10 cents or 10 cents more, 10 cents less? Should not make any difference to you guys.
Well, you know, my client was doing a lot of the Jordan line for Nike. Company called Latitudes, which no longer exists. They sold the company, and that particular division was closed. When I was working with them, and I worked with them for about 20 years or so, they were doing the Jordan line where they were charging Nike about $13 to $14 a shirt because of special effects. And of course, back then, that same shirt was being sold for $85. Okay. And so the reason that they were willing to pay that was all the special effects so that bootleggers couldn't duplicate the shirt. And that was the biggest thing. keep the bootleggers away. So they would put on a lot of high density gels, foils, etc. Nowadays, I'm not sure what Nike is up to. I actually do know some of the people. Well, do you know Ed from Nike? Ed,
No,
huh?
no, I don't know him.
Oh, he was at the show. He was at Printing United. Actually, he was in our booth at the same time. Ed Berrigan, with a strong Irish accent. He's involved with a lot of the technology for Nike. And
Okay.
I don't know how much he controls what the prices are going to be, but um, Ed, Ed is definitely one of the people that's worth talking to in terms of trying to do work for Nike. You know, they have their lower end line where nickels and dimes make a lot of difference. On the high end line, it's not nickels and dimes, it's dollars. So,
Exactly.
uh, but then the question is, can you do all the special effects, et cetera, that they want so that people can't make bootleg copies of it?
No, that's not a problem. Not with the new machinery. That should not be any problem at all.
Well, you know, I'll see Ed at the show probably because he'll be down in Long Beach. I'll see what he has to say. I don't have a problem pitching it for you a little bit.
Ah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, because
Yeah, I
because
mean,
it could be interesting. We can open a line for them. Of course, even their Nike is hopefully and they're going to a more greener effect, which is fantastic. They
they
want to
are.
use water-based ink, good water-based ink that are not cheap water-based ink. So that costs money.
It does. You know, what's interesting is there's going to be a company at the show that is going to be showing garments that are GOTS certified, et cetera. And one of the companies that he's representing is one that I met at the ITMA show, company called Neutral. And I brought back some of their shirts, which are beautiful. The owner of the company is a little on the crazy side, which is okay. But that's all he's going to show is the garments that are all GOTS certified. And they're all sustainable type products. And I think that's really the next thing is to push everybody into more sustainable situations. So it'll be interesting to see how he does at the show. He was showing actually at the PPAI show this week, but then he's coming over to the Long Beach show just to see what's going on there and see what kind of interest there might be there. Being got certified in Europe is a really big thing, where in the US it's not as much.
Okay.
But you know, I think that's one of those things that is going to become more and more important to be sustainable, to be GOT certified, et cetera.
Yeah, we're really looking into sustainability, and because everything is there. I mean, there's no reason not to be completely sustainable. It's just one.
Well, I think it's a big corporate situation also when you can tell a company that you're working with that it is a sustainable product, and that's all you're working with now is sustainable products. That definitely has an impact. And you know, corporations are kind of funny. They want to be politically correct, and so if you
Yes,
can give them the opportunity to be politically correct without it costing a lot more money, then they're game. If it's going to cost a lot more, then they're not so much into it.
exactly. But it's the same with every company, and they
I
they they
agree.
really need to push it.
Yeah.
They really need to push it because
Uh,
in
so
especially here in Mexico, if you are completely price sensitive, then you can get printings for prices that you wouldn't believe. But
yeah,
you,
no,
you you will find inks even with lead still, which is crazy.
yeah, true. Great opacity. Not the best thing to use, but nevertheless, what are you going to do? How many automatics are you running in your place?
Right now, two.
Yeah. How many do you own?
We used to own,
I'm sorry, I missed that.
we used to have 5, now we're having 2.
So you sold off the other 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're trying to go digital and change a little bit on that.
And so you're doing a lot of, are you doing DTF quite a bit or not?
I'm selling quite a bit of DTF now, and I'm buying one from OmniPoint.
From who?
From Omni. You never heard them? They're very good. They're at every show.
Probably. I haven't paid enough attention to DTF, to be honest with you. Of course, everybody's saying DTF is going to take over and screen print is going to go away. Okay.
That's not true.
Of course not. They said the same thing with DTG. Oh, it's going to take over the market. Yeah, about 5 to 8% of the market is that way. The other 88% is still screen print.
DTG is still a pain in the neck, especially if you have to pre-treat garments. It's a pain in the neck.
It is. Yeah, and the thing with DTF is it still doesn't have the hand that screen printing does.
Yeah.
And then you have special effects, which is one of the reasons I'm doing that special effects workshop, is really to show how there are certain things in screen print that'll probably not go away. There may be some inroads, but you can't eliminate all of screen print because there are things we can do that none of the other processes will be able to do.
Exactly. And I like the DTG, the digital squeegee, those I love. You can just put on your machine, print digital, and then do the special effects on top. Those are fantastic.
I agree, but you're not talking about doing short runs anymore.
No.
You know,
and once again, the problem is the price. Did you know that you have the legal economy and illegal economy? I don't know if you know this, but in Mexico, illegal economy is 60% of the economy.
The illegal side.
Now, illegal, 60%.
Wow.
So compete with a guy that does not pay water, doesn't pay electricity, that pays cash their employees. They have no contracts. They don't pay for Social Security. They have 45% less costs than me. So to compete with that is insane.
I do understand. The only way you can compete really is going after companies where quality is the biggest issue, not price. And everybody says, oh yeah, quality is really important, but I still need a good price.
Exactly. Yesterday, I was talking to one of the main distributors of a big chain here in Mexico, one of the big suppliers. And it's exactly what he was saying. Oh no, I'm happy to talk to you because I'm having this and this and this and this and this and these problems. So yeah, I can fix it like this. Oh yeah, but there's the problem of price. I said, okay, you want to fix your problems, but you don't want to pay for fixing your problems.
Right. You want a Mercedes, but you want to pay for a Volkswagen.
Exactly. That's exactly what they want. And then they want to pay for the Volkswagen 5 months after they have delivered it.
Well, of course. I know.
So I've been talking to them and said, sorry guys, you have to pay. I don't do credit anymore, so you have to pay on the spot.
There are certain things
delivery.
that I agree with you. There are some things that you just don't do anymore. And credit, I've
been talking to a very good friend of mine that has a credit. He has a credit company. So I've been talking to him and said, I'm no longer going to give credit to my customers. I mean, I need to be good at printing. If you are the expert of giving credit, then please investigate these guys. And if you want, you can give them credit. So now if a customer talks to me and say, I need credit. Yeah, well, talk to this guy. He's like a bank. He will definitely, if you are someone that's worthy of giving credit, he will give you credit. It will cost you money because money costs money, right? And you can pay him in 1 month, months.
Yeah,
you do a contract with him. That's not my problem anymore. I get my pay upon delivery, and I talked to my friend. I said, here I have already delivered. He pays me my invoice. And that's it.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny when I do a seminar and we talk about order forms and how much do you want to take as a down payment on a job, and of course the answer is usually I want 50% down, and my question is, suppose that 50% doesn't even cover the cost of the product. Now you have to take money out of your pocket in order to be able to print. That's stupid, because if in the end they're not happy, yeah, they put down a certain amount of money, but you also had to go to your pocket and take out money or borrow money to do the job. You need to at least take a down payment that's going to cover the cost of the goods. You get that, the only thing that they can stick you for is your labor. Okay, well, could you then take the goods that they haven't paid, that they've put a down payment on, and sell them off to collect back what you've spent on labor? And the chances are the answer is yes.
Yeah.
So at least you're not out that money. It's amazing to me how many more companies that are online now are only accepting their business paid in full.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and people will do it, no problem. I mean, you go into Amazon, into all of these companies, and you have to pay in advance.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
We have an app here. I mean, you probably do it as well from Alibaba in China. They have incredible prices. They take up to 2 months to deliver, and you have to pay everything up front.
Yeah.
And trust them that in 2 months you will receive your product. Which honestly, it has never happened to me that I do not receive the product. It has happened to me that I forgot that I bought it, and then, oh, look, finally it has arrived.
I know. I've had the same thing. It's like, huh, I did buy this a long time ago, didn't I? Yeah, there are a couple of companies out of China, even on the screen print side, screen printing supplies side, that are very reputable. Pricing is extremely good, and they actually do ship in a relatively short period of time, and it's always good. And
that's another option that we are checking to open a new distribution company of goods here in Mexico, because distributors are just very, 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 very bad here, as in everywhere. I don't know how distributors live if they're so bad.
It's amazing. I mean, I owned a supply house for 13 years, and the whole thing with any supply house is customer service. Is, you need it, I get it to you.
Exactly.
You need it today, I'll get it to you today. You need it tomorrow, I'll get it to you tomorrow. And that's becoming less and less of a situation.
Yeah.
Price, when you really need it, the price is irrelevant.
Exactly. I completely agree with you.
The difference of $1 a gallon on some ink or whatever, who cares? $1 isn't going to make or break it anyway. But it's an amazing thing how when I had my business, we were small, and so we didn't have the buying power, and they would come to us if they had a technical problem, but then they would go to someone else to buy the product. That's why I closed down after 13 years. I never had enough money to be able to compete with the big boys. But and have things changed quite a bit, actually. A lot of the smaller companies got bought out by the bigger companies, and so you have fewer and fewer companies, but they're much bigger in terms of the territories that they cover.
Yeah, but then everyone also complains about their distributors. I mean, if you talk to Danny Swim, and hey, how are you happy with the distributors? He's just angry with everyone. It's like, oh, they do this and this and this, they're not good distributors. Well, are you a good supplier?
I was going to say, how well do you supply your goods?
Exactly.
During the pandemic, what was it? M&R was like 8 months out on delivery.
Yeah.
How do you buy a machine and wait 8 months? I don't understand that.
No, it happens with everything. Even with automobiles. Automobiles was insane.
Well, automobile, but part of the
Toyota.
automobile thing was because of a lot of factories shutting down, and they also had that disaster with cars going down. And it definitely impacted the automotive industry. The difference for us is we needed product on our floors in order to get things out. And what happened was Rock was able to deliver and nobody else could.
Yeah.
And so Rock went crazy on sales. I'm actually going to be working with MHM starting tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Yeah, not officially, but working with them. And I love their machinery. I always have, and worked with them back in 2005, 2007, actually at their factory doing seminars and stuff. And now that Florian is back, I'm back to working with them. I think I'll find out tomorrow for sure.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah,
they're a very good company, but they unfortunately the pricing with their machine at the beginning was very bad. Now I think they have a good price at a good machine. They just need to let people know that they're out there in the market at a reasonable price.
Well,
with a very good.
Their pricing is definitely in tune with everybody else. They may even be a little below some of the others. And they are coming out with a new machine, a introductory level machine, but we'll see when that comes out. That's not official yet. But the quality of their machines has never been an issue. And to be honest with you, I mean, I love working with their machines. Matter of fact, it was interesting. Back in 2005 or 7, I took Dane and Lon Winters with me to work with MHM. Everybody said, "Why are you taking Lon? He's an M&R guy." I said, "Well, that's why I'm taking him, so that he can explain where the differences are between M&R and MHM." He set up, I think it was an 11 or 12 color job by himself in about 30 minutes.
That's not bad at all. That's very good.
All by himself. We didn't hand him a screen or anything, and it was perfect. It was his Einstein job. I think even he was shocked as to how easy and how quick it came together. But that's the big thing with MHM is their registration system. If you're using it correctly, it's on the money. So we'll see. But anyway, yeah, I'll be hopefully working with them. We'll see if I do any shows and stuff. I have to discuss it with Flo and with the rest of the MHM crew. And
you're definitely going to be in Amsterdam for
I'm not. And the reason I'm not, believe it or not, why did FESPA do Amsterdam in March? I don't understand that. Their show dates sit on top of the Atlantic City show dates for impressions on the exact same dates. And I'm committed to doing Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing with that is a lot of the companies that would have gone to FESPA from the US. I know Vastex always exhibited at FESPA. They're not going to because they're going to go and do Atlantic City. It's in their backyard. And the same thing with a bunch of the other companies. They're going to do the US show versus the European show because the US show, they know they're going to have a good show. So I don't understand. FESPA has always been May and June, always. And all of a sudden
it's because Drupa is going to be held in June. That's why they changed it.
And I understand that, but they should have checked their dates. They're sitting on top of the second biggest show in the US. And, Long Beach is the biggest, and the second biggest as far as textile screen printing goes is Atlantic City.
It's even bigger than Printing United?
On the textile side, absolutely.
Yeah.
Printing
Okay,
United
okay.
for textiles is not that big. Look, you
No.
were at the show. It wasn't big at all on textiles. The other
No.
thing is Vespa isn't that big on textiles either anymore, other than digital textile. But as far as screen print, both Printing United and Vespa are not big on screen print. The Long Beach show is the best in the world, and the second best in the US is Atlantic City when it comes to screen print. And so Vespa, I would have worked the Vespa show. I love working Vespa shows, but you know, my commitment is definitely with
No,
the
no, it's definitely,
sportswear show.
of course.
So,
But you should come to Mexico healthy this time.
well, you know, I did Mexico for I don't know how many years, and then all of a sudden, Vespa didn't just cut me off. I don't do any Vespa show at all. Where I was
I
doing
have a meeting with
Oscar.
Michael Ryan
Oh,
and Oscar this Friday, and we're discussing all of this because thank God we're doing very good in Vespa Mexico, and we need to bring all of this back again because of COVID. We forget about some of the things that we were doing, and having good seminars is very important. People are they want knowledge. They want
did
to.
I ever send you a copy of my book?
No, you were gonna send me a digital copy.
I will, but on my new book, which okay, so my new book has nothing to do with technical. It's
wow.
so back in the Mexico area. Let me see if I can find it. Mexico shows. Yeah, I turned right to the right page.
It's
Now,
almost like you have written.
These are not good prints, but that one is of you doing the interpretation.
Nice.
Same thing there.
Ah, fantastic.
So yeah, so I have you in here a couple of times. But almost finished with this one. But this one has nothing to do with anything technical. It's just my 48 years in the industry, 47 plus. But I have you in there a couple of times from you were doing interpreting for me at a Casa Diaz show.
Yes.
So I have a couple of photos from that. You know, everyone says, well, it would be better with a Mexican in Mexico. Yeah, I understand some of that, but at the same time, you know, reputations is one of those things that definitely bring in more people. And so, you know, I'd love to do another Vespa Mexico show. I'd love to do a bunch of Vespa shows, to be honest with you. I don't know why, you know, it's funny. I was talking to Neil and Michael Ryan a couple of years back, and I said, all of a sudden, after like 10 or 11 years of working with you, I'm out. No explanation, no nothing, not even a thank you very much for your last 10 years. Now get out of here. It was just boom, nothing. And I said, you know, what happened? I couldn't get an answer.
That's crazy. That's not good.
It is. You know, the person that brought me in was Fraser Chesterman, who left Vespa. And then I did a bunch of stuff with Nigel Steffens, who was the previous CEO. And did some work with him, did some shows in China with Vespa, but also direct speaking to doing a presentation in China. And boom, all of a sudden I'm out with Vespa, and it's like, what happened? I mean, I know I got older, but I wasn't young to start with. So, you know, I don't know. I'd love
that's crazy. I'll talk like this Friday and see what's going on and maybe get you back in the game because it's I mean 150 people in Long Beach that's good. I mean,
well,
people want to see that.
I know a lot of people in Mexico know who I am, obviously, and I thought that I could draw a crowd pretty easily. And I know they've been
And
working.
have you seen the guys that they're consultant guys that have here in Mexico?
I saw that there's a company that they're working with that is doing their seminars or whatever. I don't know anything about them. I don't know what their reputation is, but I know that that's who was doing it. What do you know about them?
Check their web page and enter their YouTube. They probably are in Spanish, but look at what they're doing, the machinery that they're using, and everything is just ancient. It's
Do
just
me a
like
favor, send me the link.
I will, I will,
I don't
because
even know the
it's
name of the company, but one of the things I always wanted to do in Mexico that they never let me do was a hands-on workshop the day before the show.
which I'm sure it will be very successful.
I don't doubt it at all, but they've never let me do it.
And I think it's going to be difficult with the Banamex Center, but even using the machines that are at the floor one day prior to opening the show, that would be fantastic for the companies. I mean, if I are selling automatic, you said, hey, can I use your machine the day before? I will be happy to do it.
Well, I know I can call up on Casa Diaz and ask them to supply me with a manual and even an automatic and not have any problems. I'm sure of that.
And Kiwo will be to give you any product that's required for the dark room and
Oh, absolutely.
printer.
I just got in a bunch of stuff from Kiwo. I mean, David Eisenbeiss and I go back a long, long ways, so not a problem getting anything from Kiwo, Chromaline, none of those, screens, not a problem. I mean, I have no issue getting any of the products. Why they wouldn't ever let me do a workshop? Oh, because I don't speak Spanish. It's like, really, you don't think that there's someone that couldn't do some interpreting for me if I needed to? I'm sure I could find somebody, on top of which a lot of it is show and tell. Not only just talking, but also doing it. So I don't know. I would love to do a hands-on workshop. I think that that's something that, and of course, it does have to be up to date in terms of what's going on in today's world. So
exactly, which I mean, he's a good do a quality job with brain.
I lost you. Can you repeat that?
That they're gonna do a low quality on with wooden, with manually stretching your mesh in a wooden frame.
Yeah,
that's good for you. But what you want, you want.
No, I would have all the. I would
do
not
the
be
mesh
showing
quality.
stretching on a wooden screen. I wouldn't even show stretching on an aluminum screen. I'd either be using roller frames or Sherlock frames. Same thing with squeegees. Show them the different squeegees, etc. To do a basic, quote unquote, a basic or a fundamentals workshop, which I think would really work well, is not a difficult thing for me to do at all. And in Mexico, do I think it's important? I think even a lot of the bigger shops don't know enough about what they're doing or why they're doing it, so that they could send people in as well.
Yes.
Anyway, I'll leave it up to you to talk to Michael and to talk to Oscar. I know Oscar would like me to come. It's a matter of convincing Michael, who then has to convince Neil that it's worth bringing me in again. We'll see.
This week I with in
I'm
Dubai,
losing you.
so
Yeah.
so your internet is the one that is
It's
not
mine.
good.
Yep. I take full responsibility. It is mine, not you.
I'm telling you that this week I have a call with Mike Ryan. Next
Right.
week, when I'm in Dubai, I will be with Neil. We'll have a board meeting with him. So it's a good time to talk to him.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what their response is when you mention my name.
Yeah,
I
because
wouldn't, don't expect it to be overwhelming. Don't expect it to be warm and fuzzy. I don't know why.
but most or
Losing you.
do you hear me again?
Can't hear you.
Or you can?
Um, I think I got you
All
now.
right, I got you back. Most of the old guys in the board remember you. I mean, Laz Barrow knows you perfectly. Georgie knows who you are perfectly. So that's
Georgia and I get along very well. I get along with almost everyone on the board. Matter of fact, the only ones I don't get along with are the ones that I don't know.
are the new guys. The Italy
I'm losing you.
Macerdotti Group. Have you heard of Macerdotti Group from Alberto Macerdotti?
Do I have a what?
Have you ever heard of him or know him?
Who?
He's one of the new guys in the board, Italian guy,
No,
Alberto Macerdotti.
no, I don't
He
know him.
he's into digital imaging in terms of he's the biggest buyer of screens for Samsung in the world.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah. So he does most of the imaging in Italy and in a lot of places in Europe. He's when you look at these huge walls that I had like 100 screens put together,
Yeah.
he does that kind of job, and it's incredible what he does. The
Huh.
quality that he has is incredible.
Now the guys that I know, what's his name from Denmark? Um,
Niels,
Very friendly with Nils, with Georgie, with from Belgium.
Christian,
Yes. It's just been so long since I've seen each of them. I'm terrible with names. Always have been. But I went to China with all of them, and we spent probably 5 days, 6 days in China at doing presentations, etc. Way back, probably a good 10, 12 years ago. And Nigel Steffens was with us as well. I think there were 5 of us that went to China. Um, so I got to know all of them quite well at that time. But
that's great.
yeah, so who
All right.
knows?
Yeah, I'll talk to them. Don't worry. I'll talk to them and let you know what happened, which is important.
I'm game. In any event, I think we probably have chewed enough of the fat for today. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Definitely, my friend.
Oh, sorry, it's just the 2 of us, but it's been enjoyable chatting with you. I haven't really sat and talked to you in quite some time. I will speak to Ed Brannigan when I see him at the show, see what it takes to do some work for Nike down where you are. Um, I know that the shirts are being made down in Merida for Nike.
Yes.
I did some work for that factory also many years back. Actually helped them redesign that factory, which I put together a plan. They changed the plan, which I think was stupid, but hey, what do I know? But anyway, I will speak to Ed and see what it takes.
Yeah.
In any event, I think I lost you again. In any event, there we go. Stay in touch. Let me know how things go on Friday. If you can shoot me an email or a text message on that company.
Here you are again.
All right, we're on again. It's all my fault. I take full
Don't
responsibility.
worry about it. It's
If you
I
can
thank
send
you
me
very much for inviting me. I was really had a really good time chatting with you. And yeah, I will definitely keep in touch, and I will give you a message on Friday.
Well, if you can send me the link to check out that company in Mexico and let me know on Friday how things go with you, that for me, that'd be great. Other than that, definitely looking forward to hearing what you think about Dubai as far
No, I
as
will.
how the show goes. I'm interested in
Fantastic.
what I'm wondering how much of an interest there is in Dubai for screen printing versus digital.
I'm really looking to see what hopes the market like they and they require them.
Yeah, I don't know how much screen printing goes on in Dubai. I'm sure that there's a lot of digital that goes on, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
In any event, should you find a gold brick on the floor, and you want to send it to me so I can take a look at it, that would be nice.
Definitely, we'll try to find one.
Sounds good. Daniel, thank you so much for being on. I will have this on my website if anybody wants to see it. It'll probably be on in another day or two. But other than that, travel safe to Dubai and look. All right.